What's up, guys? Welcome back to Locked In Podcast, episode 4. Today's episode is why there needs to be more peace in today's world. We're going to start off with verse of the day, and I believe Logan's going to read that for you.
Yeah. So verse of the day today is going to be, put on your full armor of God so that you can take a stand against the devil's schemes. That's going to be Ephesians 6:11. And it's going to come into a important context later on in the podcast that we're going to bring up. But I think it's really important that all of us put on the armor of God and so that we can stand against the devil and his evil ways. So that's really it. I mean, you got to stand against the devil, and the only way to do that is through God's armor. So
the main first thing I want to cover in today's episode, you've heard about it already, that absolutely devastating news of, former President Donald Trump almost being assassinated Saturday there. Now, I want to stress very clearly before, when we talk about this, Logan and I, we're both conservative. We're going to vote for Trump. That just aligns with our values. But it doesn't matter who you are, what side. No. This is a really serious deal.
And we don't care who you vote for either.
Right.
It's none of our business at the end of the day. There was brave men and women that have died for this country so that you can choose who you vote for. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You don't have to share your political beliefs with anyone.
No.
You don't, at the end of the day, everyone has their own free choice. We live in a free country with freedom of speech, free choice. But it is very sad what happened to former President Trump this weekend. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. It should be an eye-opener to every American in this country and everyone worldwide as well.
And also, I want to say my condolences to the family who was affected. I'm going to butcher the last name, but Corey Contemporor or something like that. Mm-hmm. He was the man. He was a former fire chief. He went to cover his family when shots were fired. And as a result of that, a bullet entered the side of his head and he died instantly. So that is a family that's affected drastically. Mm-hmm. Not only that family, but the families around him. Mm-hmm. And the families of really everybody there, because they know that something could have happened there.
Yeah.
That's a very serious deal. One thing I absolutely hate, there's two things, is people who said, damn, I wish they could have hit him. I don't tolerate that. We're talking about life here, guys. I don't care what side you align with. We're talking about life. That, and then also the people who are on Twitter and all that saying, hey, this is staged. This is all this garbage. Again, there are families that were affected by this. The last thing you can do is be saying stuff like that. If you're going to go say anything on Twitter, say anything on social media, go out there and say, I'm so sorry for your family's loss, and be positive. The world needs more peace out here. A crazy thing just happened, and really it should have been a crazier result. Trump was 1 millimeter away from dying. Mm-hmm. If you want to describe what happened there and bring up that picture you showed me earlier.
Mm-hmm. I don't have it because we're live, but Trump had released today, when he went to the hospital after the shooting, he was 1 millimeter away from losing his life. You have main arteries right in front of your ear, and if those would have been pierced, he would have died instantly. And I think it's important to understand that life can change in a matter of seconds. Doesn't matter who you are, and there was definitely divine intervention that played a massive role in Trump's life today, or that plays a big role in Trump's life today. We're talking about God tilting his head at the perfect time to stop that bullet from hitting him. If he did not twitch his head, that bullet would have went straight through the back of his brain, right through the back of his head. And I think that it's important to understand that it is truly divine intervention. And it really shows with the beginning, right before Trump walked out on stage, the American flag that everyone can see in the background where Trump raises his fist up in the air and the flag's behind him, that American flag had folded itself into an angel right before Trump had made his appearance out on stage that day. And I think Braedon's going to try and find it here so that you guys can see it. But it was unreal. I saw that this morning posted, and I couldn't believe that the American flag was folded into an angel. Just so you guys can see that. That flag folded itself directly into an angel. And that was moments before he had walked out on stage. So at the end of the day, I give all credit to our Lord and the mercy that he showed on Trump. And I think that he's going to be used for greater causes, and that's why he was saved. That there was another plan for his being.
Another thing, like I thought of, like one of the first things that hit me, I guess, is when I started really thinking about like the divine intervention and everything like that. Think about the Pledge of Allegiance: one nation under God. One nation under God. Like, I mean, you guys realize we just witnessed a miracle on Saturday.
An absolute miracle. That shooter was only 132 yards away.
Yeah. And like, I'm gonna be honest too, like, say it's flipped. Say Joe Biden was attempted to be assassinated, right? Say if it flipped and his life was saved, I'd be saying the same thing. Because we're talking about a life. And
a human life.
A human life.
That has a family,
right.
Has grandchildren, has children. Like, what people don't realize is Donald Trump, no matter what your views are, is also an American. He is also a civilian of this country. And I think it's important that all Americans right now stand strong together in unity, no matter what, put our political views aside and do what's right for this country. I think that's hugely important now.
Well, right now there's too much fighting.
There's too much.
This is not sustainable for our country, for our lives, for our kids' lives, for our kids' lives. We can't keep fighting.
A big thing in our generation, especially. I mean, we're young. Everyone wants to be right, and we just need to take a step back and realize that we're gonna have kids someday. Okay. And do you want your kids growing up in a place that they can't live? They can't have freedom of speech like we did because we ruined it for them. Like, I think it's important that we take these times now very seriously and listen to what Abraham Lincoln said in 1865 or something like that. When Abraham Lincoln said, "A nation divided cannot stand." And that was right before the Civil War, or right during the beginning of the Civil War. A nation divided cannot stand. And I think that's very important that we go back to 1776 and we are one nation under God. There was 73 people that signed the Declaration of Independence, and all 53 of them sacrificed their life in some way during that time for us to be here today arguing about things that shouldn't be argued about. And I think it's just important to take a step back, realize there's things that need to be done to make this country a better place for our children's children and our children. So,
and we're all human. Like, we're not always gonna 100% agree on everything, but it's kind of just a fact. Like, you know, just it's so much easier to hold something into yourself rather than saying it and then making it ripple effect and just bounce off so many other people. Like, we want peace in this world at the end of the day. I don't care what you think. If we have more peace in the world, everybody's going to be happier, no matter how you feel and all that. And this is a Locked In podcast. This is a little bit of a different episode here. But if there's more peace in the world, we're going to be less distracted, and you guys watching will be able to be more focused on supporting for your family, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, chasing your dreams. You're not going to be dealing with distractions like that. And I know this is a different episode, but like, it ties into what we're trying to tell you guys. Like, in order for you to be focused on like what you want to do, like the world, like, you gotta be in a good setting. If the world's not good, like, you can be good, it's gonna be a lot harder.
And I think this ties back greatly with our last episode about self-medicating and taking time, relaxing, because at the end of the day, all of us want a peaceful life. We don't want a hard life every single day, okay? And the only way we do that now is through unity with one another. You should be able to look at both your neighbors and everyone around you in America and say, you are an American, I'm an American. We are all Americans fighting for one greater cause, and that's to have peace in this country. And that's to have peace worldwide, not just here, but also abroad. And I think it is so important that if we can't, as a nation, come to peace with one another, that we won't be at peace in our own homes. And we won't be able to find peace in our own homes. And I think that's very scary, and that's a real world look at problems that we're going to face here within the next 20 years if we don't get this figured out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think now's a good time for those of you who have stuck around on the recorded podcast, and obviously those of you live. So the verse of the day was Ephesians 6:11, and I'm just going to pull it up here and restate it real quick just before explaining this. But this, I sent it to Logan yesterday when I discovered it, and his mind was pretty shocked, and my mind was shocked when I came across it. I saw it on Twitter, and so we got it here. If I can pull it up here.
It's wild.
Ephesians 6:11. Put on the full armor of God so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6:11. Donald Trump was shot on the ear at 6:11 p.m. on the dot. 6:11.00.
He took the first bullet, or the second bullet, to the ear at 6:11 p.m.
Right.
With a folded angel flag, moments before he stepped out on stage. So,
like, if that doesn't say divine intervention, I don't know what does.
That truly shows to you that the Lord had a presence at that rally in Pennsylvania 2 days ago, and that he had stopped the devil's schemes for a greater cause. We may not know what that cause is now, and we might have to sit around and wait until the Lord shows us what that cause was. But the Lord had stopped that bullet from hitting Trump in the head for a reason. We don't know why, and we won't know why for a while, more than likely.
If ever.
If ever. But there was a reason that bullet did not go through his head. And I think that's important to understand, that the Lord had a reason for it. And we just have to sit and wait. Because Trump being shot at 6:11 p.m. and Ephesians 6:11 being about the armor of God is not a coincidence. There's no coincidences in Scripture. That's not just oh man, that just perfectly aligned. Like that doesn't happen ever. No,
there's been too many quote unquote coincidences for it not to be true.
The head tilt at the perfect time. The flinch of his head at the perfect time, which you cannot see unless you slow it down. And I mean, it's insane. Like, just completely speechless.
So that covers, I'm going to pivot a little bit now. So we talked a lot about the political side of things, and like we said already, we're not telling you what side to be or what side to be for. Like, this is just, we're talking about life here, a human life, right? But like, when it comes to having a world of peace, right, and like making a difference, like, we have to unite as one. Like, if we just keep fighting, we're not going to get anywhere. It's like Logan said, he brought up what Abraham Lincoln said. Like, we have to have a country that's sustainable. We have to have a society that's sustainable. Like, if we're not on the same page, and like, yes, we're human, we're going to disagree. Logan and I disagree on some things sometimes. Does it affect our friendship? Not one bit. It's like you just gotta accept the fact that not everyone's gonna agree with you. Not everyone is going to agree with what you think, and that's okay. You don't agree with what other people think. That's okay. We're human. We're human, and we have our own mind. Everybody's gonna be just a little bit different, but that's what makes us special.
And no one is perfect, ever. At no means. Not Trump, not Biden, not any political figure, not any pastor in this country, not any Democrat in this country. No one. There is not a single perfect human being in this entire country. And if you say there is, you're wrong. I mean, you there's no perfect human being ever. So at the end of the day, we need to learn that disagreeing is okay. That not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's going to have an answer for what you're going through or the things that other people are going through. And you just have to accept that, unite together, understand there's disagreements, and move forward. Stop being stuck up on little things that at the end of the day aren't going to matter. There's so much in this world that people are so caught up about and so uptight about that at the end of the day, who cares? It doesn't matter. Okay? We just need to unite as one and stay like that. I mean...
Yeah. And I mean, you know, the thing is, like, it doesn't take that much, if you think about it. Like, it's pretty much, if you don't have something good to say, don't say it. Like, I mean, I see so many people on social media, I think, is a big reason why peace has been kind of falling away in this world, because it's so easy for someone just to go talk garbage about something else because you don't gotta say it to somebody's face. Like, social media is just, it opens up so much easier avenues for that to happen. And the worst part about that is social media. I'm here in Wisconsin. Someone in California could see the same tweet I put out. Like, it spreads like a wildfire. And like, the sad part is, you see all the positive stuff on Twitter versus all like the negative stuff and the dark stuff on Twitter. Usually the dark stuff is what's being retweeted more, liked more engagement. Like, we need that flipped. We need that flipped. We gotta be seeing more positivity in this world. Like, more peace, more motivation, more self motivating yourself to go out there and live the life you want to live. Because that's what this podcast is centered around. That's why we're covering this episode. Like, if this episode had nothing to do with trying to live the best version of your life, we wouldn't be doing this topic.
No.
But we both think that in order to reach your full potential, to be the best version of yourself, and again, it's not going to be perfect. No one is perfect. To be the best version of yourself, the world has to be peaceful. I'm not perfect. Logan's not perfect. All of you guys watching are not perfect. But can you make a difference in this world and make it more peaceful? Can you go change somebody's day? Go up to somebody walking in the store. Be like, hey, you know, how you doing? Like, seriously. Like, I hope you're having a great day. And like, the sad thing is, like, a lot of people don't do that in today's world. But like, you can do just such a little thing and make the difference in somebody's life just by a day. Like, you go up to somebody, like, say McDonald's, they're in a drive-thru, they're having the worst day of work, you know, of their time there. Say it's a little kid, summer help. He's been working at McDonald's, and you know, he's been really stressed because he's been dealing with stuff at home, and his parents are divorced, and you know, he's got all this stuff going on in his head and everything, and he's got to go to work. You go there and just make the kids smile. Like, that's just the little things, guys.
Yeah.
Just the little things. Like go and you can make peace in this world by just being kind to one person. Be kind to one person every day.
Yep.
See
And
what the world's gonna be.
I think it's important to understand that if you can change the lives of 10 people, those 10 people could go out and change the lives of 10 more people individually. That's 100 people changed, lives changed. 110 people's lives just changed. And then they can go out. Now that's 1,000 lives changed. They can go out, that's 100,000 lives changed. And you can continuously go down the line and change one person's life at a time, and it'll spread just as fast as any internet social media post ever. It'll spread like a wildfire. I think it's very important to understand that you just need to be a nice person at the end of the day. Just be nice. Understand that other people are also going through things in their life just as much as you are. And don't think the world entirely is out to just get you, because it's out to get every single person, and the world will beat you to your knees if you let it. But it's important for you to stand back up and fight. Just as, I'm going to quote this, but just like Trump did after taking a bullet to the head. He stands up and screams fight. Over and over again screams fight. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. We need to stand up, unite, and fight in one direction towards one main goal, and that's peace in this country. That's all I've got to say.
And we're talking about reaching out to people, trying to change people's lives. Like, you guys watching, we can be changing your life. But you guys watching this episode, it's not gonna do it automatically. You gotta go out and actually do it. Watching this episode isn't gonna automatically, some of you watching might be really kind people already, but watching this episode, maybe you lack some things. Maybe you just bullied someone today. Maybe you just talk behind somebody's back. People make mistakes, and that happens. But how are you gonna change? Watching this episode, it's not gonna just change automatically. There's a call to action that needs to happen here.
And I think that's forgiveness. Forgive one another. Forgive each other for not having the same views as you. Forgive your neighbor. Forgive your family. Forgive everyone that has ever hurt you. Stop holding grudges. Just forgive them for the things that they've done. And move forward. Because if you continuously hold grudges against someone, if you continuously not forgive someone, at the end of the day, it's only going to hurt you. Because if you think the person that you're not forgiving is thinking about you, absolutely not. They're moving on with their life. They don't care. Okay? You're the only one caught up on it. So forgive, like the Bible says, like the Lord tells us to. Forgive your brother and sister. And that's really it. Forgiveness.